Yeah, but I mean, the more comfortable you get with just looking dumb, I swear it helps in everything in your life. I don't. Somebody told me, "Well, you're really confident." I'm like, "Oh man, you." I wish I could record my inner monologue for you. Actually, I'm glad I can't.
Hello, my name is Jamie Sparling, and I am the head instructor of Affinity Martial Arts and Wellness in Wausau, Wisconsin. Welcome to the FormABLE Podcast. Today, I have my good friend Jake Nordin from MKG Martial Arts here, and we're going to talk a little bit about how martial arts has formed us some of those experiences that we've had, both good and bad, and hopefully funny. Because if you can't laugh at yourself at least a little bit, then it's definitely going to be depressing. How's it going, Jake?
It's going good. It's going good. It's weirdly been a full week of training. Not weirdly, but it's interesting. It's literally the end of my week of, well, kind of Saturday morning. I'll be there again. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's been a good week.
right on. I mean, over the years, you've been with MKG for a long time. As long as I've ever walked in those doors, I've seen you at different events, and that was over like
Yeah,
a decade ago. How
yeah,
much do you get to train there, and how long
yeah.
have you been training?
I walked in the door in 1994 and did a free week. I didn't have any money at the time because I was 19.
Mm-hmm.
So I came back the following year. It gets a little fuzzy that beginning. The winter of 95 into 96 was when I really started. I got the bug. That's
Yeah,
kind of how I think about it. Now, when I see new people and I see their eyes start to get bigger and bigger as they sort of see the scale of what these arts can be in terms of what there is.
yeah.
I got that bug. I think I still wasn't technically allowed in bars at that point. I would have been probably 20 or just about to turn 21.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's the gym has moved twice since then. I've come and gone from it. I like to say I'm on my 50th or 60th comeback there, but this one seems to be really taking, and I guess it's consistently been nearly 20 years that I've been coming up on it,
That's
which is pretty
amazing.
wild. So I've been an instructor there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I am a level one instructor under Rick Fay.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, yeah, it means the world to me. It's my happy place.
When you were talking about, you know, 50th comeback, right? Anybody who's been doing it for that long is going to have at least like the 37th or something like that. I mean, 25th,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
life comes and goes. It
yeah,
ebbs and flows. There's times when there's injuries. There's times when maybe you got to do something else for a while.
yeah,
Over the years, what was your favorite like era of MKG? I don't know, that might be a weird question, but you were there to see
yeah,
different developments, right?
yeah. There have been. I would think of it as at least five, maybe six or seven different like iterations, like full iterations of the gym. I walked into the Ford Center and I always tell people like I wasn't one of them, but I was there when giants walked the earth. Greg Nelson
Yes,
had
sir.
relatively recently at that point spun off Minnesota Martial Arts Academy, which is now the Academy.
Mm-hmm.
All these people who knew that and were a part of that era were still around. And the people who had been brand new as that sort of, it seems like a million years ago, but there was a really wonderful, playful vibe when I walked in the door, but also it was a lot of really, really competent,
Serious instructors.
cool
Yeah.
young instructors, guys that were, I mean, they seem so much older than me, but when I think about it, they were probably just in their late 20s,
Mm-hmm.
but I was 20. And so there were a lot of just great young instructors, guys like Michael Amelia, Rudy Rogers, David Kaiser, Mike Lee,
That's really
Drake Ritchie.
okay. Finally, you got to one that I've actually been able to train with, because some of those guys I've just heard of. And I think
Right.
that's absolutely fascinating in that way,
Yeah.
because especially
Yeah.
in a JKD gym, or maybe any gym, it should have its evolution,
Yeah.
right? And then how it goes, and those people who come in whether they are someone that maybe later on we might consider a master like Greg Nelson, right? And
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
and
like
then also
like
other folks that in are that maybe just come in and whatever they get at that time period is enough for their life. You know,
yeah.
because it's not for everybody to cycle
No.
through and to do all that. Um,
Yeah.
well, my Tai
Yeah.
Chi teacher, he tells me, he says that he uses martial arts to enhance his relationships. And I never
Oh,
thought of it like
100%.
that, but it's just naturally what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's true. I mean, I was thinking about it today, just thinking about just sort of what you sent me about
Mm-hmm.
what you were hoping to get to the heart of.
What I remember actually to ask you, brother. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, yeah. I'm helping. I'm a good trading partner,
Yeah,
man.
brother, you are.
Uh, but I was thinking about how like it increasingly that like and not just MKG but like sort of the extended family,
Mm-hmm.
whether they are just affiliated gyms or if it's just people that are in sort of the extended college AKD family.
Mm-hmm.
The older I get, the more important it is as a like social and relational, I hope that's a word, a relationship place. Like
Mm-hmm.
it really I mean, I'm married to another instructor at Collie Group who does say hi to you.
Oh,
Mary is very like, well, tell Jamie I said hi.
hey, hi, Mary. Tell Mary she's got
uh
to come on the show. I need to get
yeah,
some female,
yeah,
a more
100%.
lady martial artist perspective on the show.
Oh, 100%, 100%. uh anyway, like, yeah, so it's a huge thing. So in terms of like iterations that have been through, like that first one was really inspirational. There were a lot of great teachers. Rick was really in the like prime of his, like everything was just going out and out and out, and every day you would walk in and there'd be some other drill that you'd be like, I don't know what I just saw. Yeah, I mean it was and there was a lot of comic hilarity. There was a lot of people with it's like when you have a bunch of people who do improvisational arts, which as we both know, college AKD is
Brother.
really big on that. So you get those kind of things going on, and then you just apply that to everything else. So it was the first time I went out with a group of people and we would be dividing the check and somebody would say, guys, we can't do this like this. We cannot leave 100% tip. Like that was in my
Yeah.
experience, it was like, we are $20 short of the bill, let alone the tip. And then
Mm-hmm.
you come to this group that's so giving, and nobody was, we were all working jobs. It wasn't like anybody was, I mean, there weren't, it just, that was the idea, is that generosity should always be there. It
Mm-hmm.
was really an important thing. But in terms of generations, I love this one right now that's happening at MKGHQ. I just love it, you know, and I have this, I won't say argument, but there are other folks who are great friends of mine that are not around the gym right now who are like, really? And I'm like, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love what Rick's laying down. I get that it's not the butt kicking sort of thing that was maybe going on a little bit more back
Mm-hmm.
then,
Yeah.
or a little more of an emphasis on like, combative ideas. It is very much right this second a lovely recreational martial arts school, and Rick still has everybody's phone number who does whatever. So if you want something more, if you want to go off
Mm-hmm.
and you want to get in a ring, you want to get in an octagon, you want to, I don't know, go to some stick fighting tournament, like whatever you want to do, he can guide you there.
Without a
Um,
doubt.
he's got the yeah, he's got that contact info for you. But for me at this point at 50, uh bones creaking a little bit,
Yes, sir.
just trying to keep my body mobile, trying to keep my brain flexible. I think what he's doing right now of just using Kali,
Maybe.
using all of the arts, but specifically Kali to like let's work on your neuroplasticity. Let's get you doing different things. If you're coming to camp this summer, in August. I hope you'll be there. I assume you will, because you always are. Prepared to have your brain blown out of your ass. He is on it. Just how do we take this and just so yeah. I love this present iteration.
Thank
so
you.
A lot of really good folk in there, and everybody's working hard.
Thank you. And that's really good to hear. I just thought it'd be a fascinating question, right?
Mhm.
And that's really an excellent answer, right? In my opinion, just because, well, I remember Guru Rick saying at one point at a camp, at the end of the camp, he'll usually give some type of speech, whether it's something
Yep.
he plans on or it's just his way of saying goodbye to folks that he won't see for a really long time. I don't know. But he had once said to all of us, but I took it very personally. He said that I give you permission to use this art to help people in their lives in whatever capacity that you may see fit. And even though I'm talking about this quote, I'm probably screwing it up, but that was the essence of it, right? Which is get out of here and go help some people, however that might be, whether it is through contact, right? So maybe somebody needs to be in a ring to conquer their demons, but a lot of people are struggling in their everyday lives.
Yeah.
And martial arts has always been something that has helped in that capacity. And
100%.
And and it's great, and you should be able to fight with it, right? But at the same
absolutely.
time, right. But at the same time, every day's a fight, right? So getting to the gym, seeing your friends, whatever that is a really big deal and enhances the life. And
I mean, from that sort of holistic kind of whole person wellness aspect, I don't. There's nothing in my life that can take its place that I've found. I've gone to gyms and lifted weights. I've gone to gyms and done that sort of, I'm working on myself, but I'm not doing martial arts. I'm gonna do this and, get on a elliptical or have a PT with me, and the trainer is going to run me through whatever they are. I find that to be a uniquely lonely experience myself. I know people that love it, and the beauty of the world is there's something for everybody if you're willing to look. For me personally, the camaraderie of the gym, of MKG, of a Minnesota Collie Group, is what I want. That's what I want. And I watch other gym owners, yourself, there's the dream for me and Mary is to do a Midwest martial arts gym tour, which we are going to do at some point. We're going to just start here and start driving your direction. Honestly, you and Sean will probably be first stops 1 and 2. And then, just work our way around to Detroit and come on back, So, but the thing that I see in these gyms, and again, even in gyms that are like, they're the Guru Anasano's instructors' gyms, is because obviously it radiates from him, as I understand it, and certainly my experience of standing in front of him was pretty like, okay, Yoda, right? I was told he was Yoda, and then I met him, and I was like, yep, that tracks. But there is that thing of like, let's make this a place where we can meet our students where they are, and I think that's the coolest thing. And so I watching. I imagine. I mean, I don't get a ton of teaching touches. I cover classes. It's always great fun to watch somebody new start to catch the vibe or the bug where they're like, oh. And you're like, yeah, like you're getting it. That thing you saw when you walked in the door and you're like, I'm never going to understand that. And then you watch them start to understand. It's really, just as another student, it's gratifying. As an instructor, I imagine more so, but you're just like, I can learn it. If I can learn it, I 100% assure you can learn it. I am all, elbows and thumbs. Everything came the hard way. I don't have that I mean, I've had many training partners and friends and people that I just was in class with who I'd watch them look at the thing and then do it. And you're like, how? And it's interesting. I made it this far without mentioning Di Rathborn, because I mean, like, there's no person aside from Rick more important to my journey than Di, because she just like, she had the same thing of like, yeah, it's going to be hard for you, I think. Early on, her saying something to that effect. Yeah, it doesn't come easy for you. You're going to need to figure out how to explode the view out so that you can take it in parts, which is what I do now, because I have to.
Yeah.
Because I'm not, I trained with a guy named Victor, who, if anybody watches the MKG video series, he's the Latin American, the Hispanic person who's being briefed on by Steph. Most often, sometimes Rick, but most often Steph is absolutely putting him on the ground. But he is such a lovely human being and a good instructor. But I watch him look at a thing he's never seen before and go, okay, I think I have it, and then do it. And then he has the prickish audacity to be like, oh, I don't know if I have it. Like, you literally just did it better than me, and I've been doing it a long time. And it's beautiful. It's really wonderful to see.
Yeah, he's high skill level and humble and sweet. So I could totally imagine, like, he'd be like, maybe I'll try to help you understand this. And meanwhile, in the back of your head, you're thinking, if it really came due, you could do this to me. I don't think I could do this to you.
No, 100%. He was teaching a foundation. He is teaching a foundations class. And, he's going through and going the way, very sort of at that loping pace to let everybody see it. And then we heard the pads, like Rick is teaching a class, and the next to, they're on the black mats, we're on the sort of wood mats. And he just kind of went, and you hear it in the sound of how the tie pads got hit. You're like, oh, he's showing them to, like, and this is where it goes. And Rick kind of looks over there sideways, and he's like, yeah, everybody's eyes went big over there. I saw it. And we sort of are like, yeah, well, I mean, he's Victor. I mean, he's an athlete, and he can go, and he's also the sweetest human being in the world. So, but I'm not that. I'm somebody who I've had to really figure out how to learn it. And that informs everything in my life. Like, I have my trade and career because Rick taught me how to learn. These arts taught me how to break things down, and they taught me how to, like, fail. Gracefully is the wrong word, but how to fail and, like, get up and try again.
Be okay with it. Like, oh, I love this enough that tomorrow I'm going to come back and screw it up again. But eventually by Friday I might get it, Yeah.
I mean, being process orientated is probably the best thing a new student can do. Like, you want to be result orientated. You want the thing to work right now. You want to feel like you could step into a ring and protect your head and not have it go badly. That's a whole process.
Yeah.
You want to learn the thing and be able to do all the variables and be able to flow, which, of course, as you and I both know, is really what MKG arts are trying to get you to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not today.
No, That's going to take a little love for the art, showing up to a bunch of classes, and one day going, holy shit, I think I just did it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, that's sort of a running, tell me how you're doing Kali without telling me you're doing Kali is like, that's so simple. I don't get it. Mm-hmm. No, you're doing it. Yeah. Am I?
Yeah. Up until the point when you asked, you were flowing. Right? That's that moment, and we all have it. We all have it. Yeah. There's a drill that my first instructor had me do where we were just twirling the sticks in two different directions, solo drills.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember literally feeling like Steve Martin in The Jerk the very first time that I got it. And I was in the middle of the class, and everybody else could do it. And I was like, I'm really doing it, sir! And then by the time I said that, I'd screwed it all up, and everybody looked over, and they're like, oh, this kid. And it's like moving on. Yeah, but I mean, the more comfortable you get with just looking dumb, I swear it helps in everything in your life. Somebody told me, well, you're really confident. I'm like, oh man, I wish I could record my inner monologue for you. Actually, I'm glad I can't.
because there's no confidence there. Or I don't want to say that it's not insecure, but it's not.
It's not what you think it is.
It's not. It's not. Most of this I'm doing from muscle memory. And right now, Jamie, my whole thing is I'm trying to unsilo myself from all the stuff, because I spent a long time like, I like these things. I like these arts. I like these drills. I like to flow like this. I want to hit pads. I want to click sticks. I want to get to flow state. I'm not worried about having the names of the techniques. I'm not worried about the drills that will build things to these things. I just want to do it. Yeah. I've gotten pretty good at it. Or
You're pretty good
to
at
a point
it,
where I could, yes. Yeah, but I'd gotten to a point where I could kind of, if I couldn't do the actual drill, I could kind of get through more or less whatever. Okay, it's off the backhand side, it's off the forehand side. It's what I can mimic, but was literally having Steph Ruby look at me and be like, you've been probably doing the roof block with the wrong stick on top, like above, for the entirety of the time you've done martial arts. And that's not uncommon, but the unsaid bit there is like, and that's why we drill these contra sombrata and the really like, oh, we're gonna roof block, we're gonna inside deflect, or we're gonna inside deflect, roof block, and then we're gonna step back out and go 1-2-1 or just hampak, like super, what can feel super remedial. Mm-hmm. But it's not. It's not. Drill it. Mm-hmm. So now I'm trying to, and then I never really cottoned on to the Jun Fan stuff. I just never, that didn't capture my imagination the way the Filipino martial arts did. So now I'm like, no, I need to have all of this. God help me, I need to get back on the mat. I've spent probably better than a decade not in a gi or not on the mats. Mm-hmm. For a number of reasons, mostly having to do with my joint health. Yeah, which is important. It's a thing. Yeah. Yeah. But I probably will never roll again. I don't want that, but I need to be comfortable down there again. I need to be able to mm-hmm. function down there. But it's also like that whole thing of like, how do you make yourself, I've heard the phrase on the internet, complete martial artist, or I've heard people talk about that idea of something sort of mm-hmm. all-encompassing, but whatever that might mean, I can't speak to it. But for me, it's like, if I have access to this buffet of martial arts, which being Rick Faye's student, as you know, is like, it's Jamie, I walked in, I went to park board karate as an 11-year-old. And the next time I walked into a martial arts gym, I walked into Minnesota Kali Group. It's like a dimensional overhaul right there is what it sounds like. Yeah. As my friend Chris Harley would say, until I started going to other gyms, and now I have been to a number of, but for a long time, I never did. I never went to any other place. And he's like, you don't understand the grace that you have in your life, because you just happened, that was the place you walked into. That was where your friend said, hey, this is fun, we should go do it. Well, he was already doing it, but mm-hmm. you should come with me and do it. Well, I fought him for a year. Yeah, well, we don't know what we don't know, right? I mean, yeah. That's such a beautiful thing. I mean, Guru Rick, last time I checked, he gets flown all over the world, right? Yeah. You have to be like pretty much one of the best in the world to be flown all the way around the world. That's just how, right? And then he teaches down the street at your gym. Yeah, it was literally like when I found out initially that the original school is above a restaurant, Sawati, which is sort of the original Thai restaurant in the very non Minneapolis, not a place with a large Thai population. We'll just say that. So you're like, oh, that's 12 blocks from where I grew up. So that's kind of, it ends up being like one of the local martial arts gyms, and I just walked in. And then you're like, oh, this guy is a thing. And then you start meeting martial artists traveling from all over. Like when I started meeting, people like Woody White and Brendan Westwood. Yeah. Meeting them as like a 20-year-old and being like, you guys flew all the way from the south of England here? And they're like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Maybe this is bigger than I understand.
Maybe. I mean, you never know, right?
I'll tell you what, that's pretty cool.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
We're very fortunate. Our school is 3 hours away. That's three
Yeah.
hours. But
Yep.
when I look at where traveled in the past and what I've done, it's like, what a gift.
Yeah.
It's the only,
Yeah. 100%.
what a gift. Um,
Yeah.
so when you said about like how this has informed the rest of your life,
Mhm.
becoming a systems learner, and it helps the your profession and all types of
Oh,
different things.
absolutely.
Yeah. Could you tell us a little bit about that piece?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, one of the reasons why I stepped away from the gym, well, I was pursuing a career
Mm-hmm.
in live event and theater. Eventually, as a sound person, I sort of, and again, this is the thing of like that improvisational thing that I was taught of like take the I mean, I think about it almost as Hubert of like take the opportunity when the line is open, you
Mm.
put something in the line,
Yes.
put it in the line. The line is open. So I walked into the theater world. I suddenly had the opportunity to make more money than I ever had, which I want to be clear to all your listeners was essentially just minimum wage jobs or slightly above that. And then suddenly it was like, oh, there's a trade here. There's a thing, and I want to learn how to like build scenery.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't very good at that. The carpenters were very kind to me, and they did their level best, but I didn't kind of get it. So then I was given opportunities to work in lighting, and that made sense to me, and I was doing that for a period of time, and then I got an opportunity to be a sound operator at a local theater here in Minneapolis called the Guthrie Theater. I actually had been working at another much smaller theater called the Jungle, and had sort of learned sort of the basics,
Mm-hmm.
and I was given an opportunity to work for the Guthrie Sound Department, and I worked there for 10 years. And so while I was doing that and growing that career from say 2002 to 2008, I just didn't have the bandwidth to also be at the gym. And, it just was what it was. So I would be around for a little bit. I'd be
Mm-hmm.
around once a week. And it wasn't until uh, I kind of got settled into that Guthrie job a couple, 3 years in, where it would be like 2008.
Yeah.
I was able to start getting back and like, okay, I'm going to make this a priority in the morning because it's
Mm-hmm.
a night job. So yeah, I mean, that became a process. And at a certain point in there, you go, oh, everything that I learned here gave me the ability to learn how to learn. I mean, with all due respect to my lovely primary and secondary school teachers, I wasn't having it. I was a terrible student.
Mm-hmm.
I think kind of us Gen X white dudes have a real specific way we slack, and
Good
I
call.
was deep in that pocket.
Yeah. Good
So
call, brother. Yeah.
yeah, so suddenly being given an opportunity to learn a thing I wanted to learn professionally, the only frame of reference I had for that was learning martial arts. Like, I don't know how to do this, but there's got to be a place to start. And then I got to find people who are willing to show me a thing, and
Mm-hmm.
then understand that it's going to be a process. And it
Yeah.
still is. I mean, I'm recently sort of changed my role in the job that I have. And I went from being more of a general AV tech at the Minneapolis Convention Center to being somebody who specifically builds digital signage
Mm-hmm.
for all the building signs, overhead signs, and all of our digital signage. And it's like somebody would say, well, how did you learn how to do that? I'm like, well, I was given an opportunity by a really intensely cool couple guys who are like, we like you. We would be willing to work with you. You seem smart. Let's give it a shot. And then doing my level best to maximize that opportunity, which is all about at its heart, I'm breaking down how to learn After Effects, all the Adobe suite of
Mm-hmm.
products, Premiere Pro, Illustrator, Photoshop. I'm learning all of that the same way I approach martial arts, which is like, okay, well, what's the first thing I need to learn?
Yeah.
And then as far as the infrastructure piece, I just go, well, we're talking about video, but I have all of this background in digital audio infrastructure. So I'm just going to take all of that knowledge and see if that gives me a place to start, and then change the things I need to change within. And it's like, that's literally what we do with drills. Like, okay, it's single stick. So I know that corresponds to double stick or empty hand this way. That's
work backwards sometimes and go, oh, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's still a stick. And whether I have one or two, there's got to be a common denominator, and then work backwards. Yeah, brother, that makes total sense to me.
Yeah, that's literally what it was. It's just it's all pattern recognition. We're just hopped up apes. And every so often when I'm around Rick, I like to tell him, I'm here doing this and able to do all these things because of you. And then I walk away really fast before either of us, before it starts to get dry in the room.
Yeah.
Because neither one of us, neither do I, man.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
I'm a Midwestern Scandinavian dude. I don't want anything to do with that, man.
It's so funny because he says, especially in those moments at the end of camp and all those things that are like right here. From his heart, so deep in it. And you want to tell him, but like he's like, I don't know, okay, all right, bye, Rick,
Yeah, and I give him a lot of credit because he it's a classic thing of like, this idea that you have to show the emotion to be emotionally honest. And I'm like, he's found that workaround, which I now use, which is like, I can be honest with you about, I don't want to cry in front of you. I'm not going to do that. Yeah. I'm not going to show that emotion, but I feel it. Yeah. And now I have to walk away because I'm not going to show it.
Yeah, brother.
And like, I think there isn't a real genuine sentiment there that I just, not to wax his car too much, but he's
no waxing of the cars here on the FormABLE Podcast. No, we're all
he's a good dude.
Yeah,
he's a good
amazing.
Dude. He's the best.
He is.
What a teacher, what a guy to like. I see him 3 times a week. And there are moments where I'm just like, right, this is the good fortune of my life that I get to spend between 4 and 6 hours of instruction a week with him, depending upon what I'm physically up for in the week. And then when it's not him, it's going to be another 4 to 6 hours with, Steph Ruby or Linda Ramsey,
both amazing,
or Mark Burge, these people who are also, kind of root to fruit, great instructor,
brother.
Yeah. They're right off of that same, tree. It's a big family. Let's be real. We're a part of a big, crazy ass FMA college AKD family. And I love that. I love it.
Me too. It's really funny to me that you had said about the learning to learn, right? Through your passion for martial arts, because that's what gets us back. And sometimes you're going to go back away and life's going to happen, but the passion can kind of bring you back to it. When I was in New York in my 20s, I had an opportunity to do some acting. And I took one class, and then I got the lead in the school play, right? And it was, anyway, at one point I had no idea in my mind what I was doing. But I started playing with one of the people in the cast and taught him, who, bud? And somebody had mentioned, like, maybe this is what makes you such a good actor. And I'm not saying I'm a good actor, but stimulus response.
Yeah.
Right? Conversation in the moment. My hand goes
listening,
here, like you said. Yes. Whisper, don't scream. All of those things. And to hear you kind of have the same experience, right? On the other side, it's this passion for martial arts that goes over, right? And transcends everything. It's just absolutely.
Isn't that wild? I love that. Yeah, I think about that a lot. Like the whisper don't scream is that you talk about a thing that really translates from stage performance or any kind of performance to martial arts, and it really does. Like I think I would imagine you spend a lot of time with newer folk being like, hey, you can relax here.
Yeah.
And then, you're trying to figure out how to get those shoulders from here to here, to make this thing be a little more this, like, so how do you make somebody understand that the learning process can be fun? You don't need to shout. You don't need to, not everything has to go at 1,000,000 miles an hour. And how many of those folks don't even know they're doing it while they're doing it because they're just not comfortable yet.
Yeah.
And I know from having professionally watched and listened to a lot of theater, thousands of hours, and seen it done sometimes at the highest level. Literally, like, this person is a Tony and Academy Award nominated and winning actor, and watching them get to the back wall with their voice without shouting. And that's watching Rick at, I believe he's 66 or 65 now. He moves differently than he did when I met him, but he's still always when you're called up to demo with him, he's got you where he needs you to be for that moment in the demo. And he'll tell you, well, you'll do this better, or blah blah blah, blah, and we're gonna bring them in because they look better when they do it. And you're like, I don't know, man. I mean, I just feel like I spent the entire time exactly where you wanted me to be, up and including me being on the ground.
Yeah.
Like, he's always where he needs to be, and that is very much a whispered, not shouted. If you think about the idea of just always knowing where you need to go next, and not if then this. It's not like an intellectual thing. He's just moving.
Yes, yeah. My first teacher, Steve Fristow, he used to say, you didn't have to be fast, but you could get there sooner. And that, to me, is that, it might not have been fast.
I love that.
Yeah, but you got there sooner. And that's...
Yeah, I like that. I like that better than like, because there's a couple people who used to love. I mean, Rick will say it. If Rick says it, then I believe it. But there's a couple other people that have said, look, slow it down. Slow is smooth. Smooth is fast.
Yeah.
And you're like, it can be. Sometimes slow is just slow, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Sometimes slow isn't smooth. Sometimes slow is just slow.
Yeah.
And I don't say that to take the piss out of any of those people, because they're on their journey. I have to remember that, because sometimes when I'm doing carenza, I'm shadow boxing, and you don't have that intent.
Yes.
So that's you don't have to go faster. You just have to get there sooner. I go, ooh, like that. That's great. I'm gonna remember that one. That's going in the safe.
I hear you, brother. Just remember, also put this in the safe. If I say anything remotely intelligent, it probably came from somebody else, probably one of my instructors, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, maybe we should have started with that caveat. Yeah. Nothing I say that made sense to you today, dear listener, was an original thought. Not one. I'm just a great parrot.
Yeah. The words you used earlier, mimic. And to me, like, that was something that I was never like an athlete or anything like that. But
Same.
At one point, I got to a point where I might be able to mimic something. That doesn't mean, and at the time when I mimicked it, I thought I could do it, right? But if you mimic it enough, and then now you can do it. Isn't that the same thing, right? I see the smile on your face, but it's not the same thing. It's a subtle difference.
Yeah, it's the difference between having something tape recorded and something that is literally your voice. I mean, because you have to start. There's no shame in the first thing, because you got to get there, but you just need to not stop moving once you have it tape recorded the way you wanted it. You have to keep moving, because you got to get it to your own voice. You got to get it so that it's that personal expression thing. It has to get to that point of how do you do it? And that's been a really interesting thing in the last year-ish, maybe almost 2 years at this point, of like, how do I unsilo myself? How do I open myself up to a broader range of the arts that are literally being taught at the gym I go to all the time?
Mm-hmm.
And instead of being sort of stuck in a little bit of in a silo is how I think of it. Because it's like, oh, it looks pretty cool. It's tall. It's not what I want it to be. But
Mm-hmm.
a lot of that is like, you know what, how do I make this mine? How did I make the other things mine? And how do I, Victor's great with this when we'll train, because I'll do something and be like, that's good. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not the drill. He goes, it's good. Look cool. It was this. You did this. I said, I know what you did. And I was like, I know, but I need to do the drill. And he's like, don't be hidebound by that. And I'm like, it's a fair point, but I want to learn the drill. I want to learn the names. I'm sort of notorious in my circle of training partners for being a guy like, have you seen this? I think of it as the meow 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 drill, and they're like, oh, you mean the classic collie 1 through 5? Is that what it's called? Yeah, it's in the manual. It's right there. So I don't know. I didn't. Somebody who taught it to me. I know exactly who taught it to me. Probably because they're very smart about names. Told me, but I couldn't. The fire hose. I was drinking from it. And I was like, how do I just make my hands move? I can't take in that's the classic sequence 1 through 5.
That's hard, though. We talk about that at our school. Because look at me. What about me says that I know a lot of Filipino, right? And there's different whatever that is, and that I'm going to say it 100% right.
So real.
That's to be 100%. And I tell my students.
I smell what you're stepping in, man.
Yeah, brother. So at our academy, we're going to pick some language so that I can look at you from across the room and say, okay, this is La Costa 121 Blitz. And it's not going to end up being, I'm not going to say it, whatever, but it's just our language. Yeah. Right? And I also tell my students, like, and if you go anywhere else and they call it whatever they call it, just look at them and go, all right, yes, sir. Because it doesn't matter. We just need that language so we can communicate.
Yeah.
Right?
We're just trying, I think for instructors particularly, we're like, the thing, as a student, it didn't matter because I was like, I just need to know what it looks like. And then tell me what I need to change to make it better so I can get it off the tape recorder, get it into my own voice. I don't need the name of it. But now as somebody who's trying to be a better ambassador for Rick as an instructor, it's like, no, now you need to be able, when somebody walks up to you and says, hey, can you show me the, and you know that they're new enough that whatever they're asking for, you have, but you don't know that name for it. So being able to like narrow it down, maybe they don't have the name right, or maybe it's, or maybe they do and you never paid attention in my case.
Brother, that makes so much sense to me. And that's like a yin and yang kind of piece. I remember my first instructor would talk about, this was a roof block and this is an inside deflection. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I went and I trained at the New York Martial Arts Academy. And they had on their curriculum for phase 2, stick pointed up, stick pointed down defenses. And I remember.
God love them.
Brother,
God love them.
I remember.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. But I remember looking at that at the time and thinking, well, they should know what it is that. Right? Or call it whatever it is. And meanwhile, I came from exactly the Midwest. Now I'm in New York, right? That's just what they do it. Now that I have, when I teach and I really pride our school, we're good for beginners, right? Now it's obviously stick is pointed up, stick is pointed down, right?
Yeah.
And when did the language change from inside deflection to inside sweep? I don't know. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Right. So
that's all happening in a different space, and that's cool. Yeah,
exactly.
We just need to try to get it to our students.
It to the best of our ability. And that's, and you're being a part of the evolution of MKG and being able to have that. It's a big, a larger organization really needs to have that language in place.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I mean you've been around. I feel like I can remember you back at least 15 years coming to the gym. Is that right? Something like that.
12 maybe. I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I met you at camp Did I meet you at Lake Owen?
No, I did not go to Lake Owen.
So
I did not.
when we moved it to the gym.
Yep, the
Okay.
very first camp that I went to because I had a bunch of DVDs of the other
Nice.
camps, and I was like, I'm in. And then they started doing it at headquarters, which is also amazing. Yeah. Also,
it is.
It's
yeah.
I tell people.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say that for my students, that is the number one. If they can do one thing that year to seminars to go to camp, because you have the largest overview of where this thing's going to go that you'll ever get.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I mean, you get yourself, Sean McCarthy's going to show up. Josh is going to show up with his folks. Marcus Charles will show up with at least a couple people. The last couple years, he's had a pretty good group there. Kurt's now with his kids able to get there again. Yeah. I'm hoping he'll be there this year. Ty and John Genge are always going to be there from KC. Hopefully Dave Hurst from Cleveland. It's like those people right there, along with Peter Kwong, who's in town. I mean, that's a roster of really solid instructors who all are Rick Fay's students.
Absolutely. Yes.
And they're coming from their own schools. They're coming from and apologies to all the other instructors who are also going to be there from their schools, whether it's Jimmy up in Cambridge, Minnesota, or, we still have a couple people, although Drake's gym is now closed in Duluth. We still have 2 students that come down from up there, so you get a good batch of folks. And then, hopefully we can get back to having a few more people coming in from overseas, a couple more Brits. I mean, Mick Tully's always a good one for rolling in out of nowhere. Jackie Rayner, Sid, these people who just, have the bug. And for me, even you, I think coming from 3 hours away, you're like, right, this is big. Like in this community, this is big.
Damn skippy it is fun. For some of, and I almost feel the same way when I go out to the academy, which I don't do as much as I should. However, somebody who gets grouted in on a Tuesday, right? And these, that's a great experience too. So
100%, man. I mean, the first time I went there and you're just like, again, you go, oh, it's wild how it's the same and completely different, which again, tell me you're doing Kali without telling me you're doing Kali. You're like, all of this is familiar, but just how you walk in the room is different, and the vibe feels great, but it's different, but it's also the same. I just, that tickles me. I mean, I'm going to try to get out to visit. Hopefully this winter. We've got kind of a tentative plan in place so that I can do some training with Tim Becker, who's to me is. I've really only been in the same space as him physically twice, but like we kind of are like, oh sure, we are, If I had been out there doing martial arts, we'd be training together. If you were here, if you'd found your way to Minneapolis instead of California, you'd be training here and we'd be training together. Like it's just that kind of a vibe. And he's like,
if he was here, we'd be hanging
good
out.
Egg.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, he's just that guy. Yeah. Hence the 4.5 hour or whatever it was, a 4-hour podcast. Because we like to talk. But yeah, camp's the best, man. It is a funny thing because obviously Lake Owen, has such a wonderful history. The first time I went, it was still, I have a piece of gear. It's my oldest, my collector's item, piece of gear. And it says Pete Hetricks, who will hopefully be at camp, who's another name that I forget, but it's
huge,
a mind-blowing character.
In Wisconsin, so many people can trace their training at some point to Pete Hetrick. Their instructor was with him.
Yep. Yeah. He left. It seems like in that community, in ours, he's left a big one. I mean, this whole thing he brought to camp last year. where it was like any one of these drills can be any one of our sort of inward, backhand, inward, back. All these can be taught open or chambered. And if you can do them chambered or unchambered, then you can do them in any of the high-low configurations. And that blew the top of my head off.
Yes.
And that's been a thing that's been ongoing. And the thing that's great is that I personally I took pictures of what he put on the whiteboard, and I literally have created a little document so I can go through it at home just doing Carenza
one time. Okay, you're gonna have to share that with me at some point.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, absolutely.
I've heard of it, but I had a similar experience one time with Guru Dan when he was doing cob, where over the course of 12, 17 minutes, cob started as this, and by the time I left, it was 95,000 things.
Yeah,
right? And
you're literally it's every permutation. It's just let's go. What you should, and the ethic of it is you should be able to do this. Yeah. If you're swinging sticks all the time, and I'm swinging them every day, I should be able to do any one of these things. And so then the next one is, which Rick looked at what Pete did, and he fully will be like, yeah, Pete kind of blew the lid off this thing, was the quote from last week or maybe the week before. But if we can do inward, the classic inward, backhand, inward, backhand, then you can, from an open position, you can have one person doing that, and you can have one person responding inward, backhand. And so one person is doing it from a chambered position, one person's doing it from an open position, and the person doing it from the chambered position, because the urge is to try to help the person, it's collaborative art, you want to help. But you almost have to either close your eyes or kind of look over the top of their head, because otherwise you're going to try to help them meet the stick. And it's no. The person in the open position's got to find it.
That's hard. I remember Rick shared that at the last instructor.
Yeah, he's really on this, and it's great.
And it's phenomenal. And then I came home and I was trying to recreate it like so many other things in my martial arts history, and then I had to go back, rethink it, and now just a few of those things.
When you come for camp, let's find a time outside of the structure of it and just run through it.
My man, I appreciate it.
Because I love it, and I'll do it whenever. I love it. It's just about finding people that are willing to really be at home with failure, to just reference back earlier, because it's gonna fuck up. You are gonna mess it up, and it's okay. Yeah. It's great. And you will get done, and I get done, and it's that therapy thing. Say I statements, not you statements.
I want you to own it, true. Jake. I want you to own it.
I get done, and I feel better. I don't know how to quantify it beyond that, but I literally whatever was going on in my workday, whatever was going on with everything else melts away a little bit, and I'm smiling.
Yeah. Even
though we've melted our brains, me and whomever I'm doing it with. I have a wonderful partner that I train with on Mondays, Kyle. Coach Kyle teaches, he's sort of in charge of the kids class now.
Okay.
At MKG. He took over for Joseph when Joseph got married and is now off. I mean, he still comes in, but he has other responsibilities in his life.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
Yeah, 100%. And he left Kyle, and this is sort of going back to Nikita, and she kind of created the template, and then Joseph refined it. Now Kyle's refining it. It's great to see. But on Mondays, Kyle and I get together, and there's a couple things we always do. We'll always knife spar, because we both just really like that sort of getting that twitch in. And then the other thing we make a point of doing is we do as much brain bending stick work as we can. How can we create a bunch of variables with simple drills? The one that we've been doing is just taking, and again, it's just 4 counts. It's just chambered 4 counts. You go across, and then you go 1, 2, 3, and you switch over to the other side, right? And you go across, and you go back. So now what you do is you take the first shot, and then you pie, and then you open it up and you cob. and then you do that same thing again. Okay,
Okay.
that's tricky. Now take the eight high-low variables, high, low, high, low, low,
Three
low,
highs,
high,
three
low, blah, blah, blah.
lows. Yes, sir.
And
Two highs,
now
two
do
lows.
that as that's the warm-up. And then we get into whatever we're really going to break our heads with.
I
And
bet you're probably pretty jazzed and moving pretty good by that time.
yeah, I mean, by the end of it, it's again, like there's a lot of like, it's like you lose track of where you are. And then if we get too comfortable in it, we change it.
Good for you.
Because that's one of the earliest lessons I go all the way back. So I'm 21. Yeah, I'm 21, 22.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm learning just how to like coordinate my body in space, maybe with sticks, maybe just with mitts on, whatever. And he shows the drill and I'm like, oh my God, what did I just see? And then I'm with somebody who's maybe at the same place and we're like, okay, let's see if we can figure it out. And we start to get it. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is starting to make sense. And as soon as I got it, he changes it. And I was just like, that's not, because you're still in that almost adolescent, boy brain. You're like, that's not fair. I was just starting to get it. And then fast forward, and he's like, yeah, that's a deliberate thing. We don't ever want you to get too comfortable with it. We want to keep you moving forward. This. I'm literally looking at the people in the room, and when they've got it, I move on immediately. Oh, so it wasn't something you did to like torture us. It was something you did as a teaching method. Oh, and now I'm a huge believer in that. So like if Kyle and I, when we're doing this and we haven't yet, mm-hmm. but should we ever get to a point where we get really comfortable with some of these things that we're doing, we will immediately have to change them because that's the point of our training that hour on Mondays is like, let's keep our brains shook up.
Yeah, but also in any of our drills, we're preaching to the choir here, but it's training method, right? Yeah. So it's great to do some rada, but if you're doing it for 20 minutes after the first 3, right, or to my students that are really struggling, they're like, I can't seem to get it. Just remember it. That's an awesome part of the training method, but it's not going to last 3 in that range. It's not going to last 3 clicks, right? So you're practicing stick pointed up, stick pointed down, angle 1, or whatever that is. Sure. But once we get into that part of when I just did it in the drill fend, like,
yeah, it's 100%.
Yeah, and in English, I just broke it down. It's
no, but that's I like that. I'm like, yeah, but I know exactly what that is. Yeah, because it honestly it doesn't. To my mind, it doesn't always express cleanly as like maybe there's a word that precisely describes that sense of like getting it. Yeah. You could say that, but that's not correct. No. And also, you're still not. I don't know. There's very little. I don't know about you. Sure. But there's very little that I do in these arts where I go, well, I got that. I don't feel that way generally about anything. Anything that like Michael Melia said something really cool to me years ago is he goes, well, you can only really work on so many things, like really be progressing on so many things. It's just, there's too much in here to be constantly working on, like really working on everything. So you have to sort of decide what you're going to be working on and then what you're going to put it. He referred to it as maintenance mode, which really stuck with me. So like, I'll have moments where I'm like, I spent a long time. The first art that really grabbed me was Muay Thai, because that was the first thing I could just get my head around. Mm-hmm. Like I understood, I'll hit this pad, this mitt, I'll kick this pad, and there'll be that sort of instant biofeedback of like good kick, bad kick.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. It just
feels like that's definitely power. We could talk about it all day long, but I know that right there, what happened, and felt it in my teeth.
I saw it, yes, and I felt it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I spent a lot of time with it. Also, the person that got me into the gym, my dear friend Kieran Daly, that was what he wanted to do. He wanted to get in the ring and do Thai fights and kickboxing at that point. And bless him, he's still doing it. I mean, he fought at the TBAs just weeks ago at 53. Yeah, yeah. And he will, and he's doing it. And I think he has every intention of continuing to do it, which is wild. But because of that, a lot of what I spent a ton of time on early on was that. So like, there'll be moments where we'll be in a class and the focus will be really boxing orientated. And I find myself being very comfortable. My hands are typically where I compared to some of the newer people, they're where they need to be. I'm never happy with what's going on. I don't want to say like I'm mad at myself, but I always know I'm like, got to get it back faster. And I go back, there was a guy talking about giants back in the day. There may be a few people who listen to this who will know this name, but Matt Eshelman was a guy who ran the Sunday open gym sparring when I very first started. And maybe he was gone by 97, 90 at the late. Can't think of the time frame, but a philosophy professor now, and at the time maybe a grad student, but just a really sharp guy. And his boxing, I would say it's the best that I've seen out of somebody. Like I've watched professional boxers train in front of me, or gone to seminars where it was somebody with that, and you go, okay, well, that guy's boxing thing. But as far as just a guy who kind of came out of MKG, his boxing was so sharp, and he was so quick, and he looked so good, and he was so relaxed and he fast, and like just that economy of motion, and then that wonderful confluence of skill and talent, and you could see it. Even as somebody new, you were like, oh, I'm looking at something practiced. And I know enough people who know him. I didn't know him real well. He was an instructor. I was in a couple classes he taught, not a lot, because I didn't go to the Sun. But you just like watch him and you're like, I want to be able to do it like him. Yes, and then you listen to people talking about like he never was ever impressed with what he was putting out. I mean, he was always like, I just got to work on this. I got to keep working on this cross. And it was probably Rick. I don't remember if it was Rick or him, but early on somebody said, one day I'm going to throw one good cross. And that really stuck with me, where I looked at them. I think it was Rick, where they said, and you're like, well, if yours isn't there yet, how long do I have to do it? And then just be okay with the work.
Yeah, brother.
Like, keep doing it. So there are these times where, like right now, I'm focusing on what I'm focusing on, but I get in and it feels good. And somebody be like, yeah, you look really sharp. You're like, okay, good. I feel like I'm not working on it right now. So it's just kind of sitting in the background, and it should be better. It's not. And I'm okay. I mean, I only have so much energy.
That makes total sense to me. And what I say to our students is, there might be moments where I think I get it, but that doesn't mean I can do it. And we need to really look at those. And I understand that. Yeah, good job. You are getting it. Yeah. When shit meets the shovel, doing it is just going to be a different piece, right? And that's the part where we're trying to refine and all that. That's what I hear anyway.
Well, isn't it the thing where, like, I don't know if you do this with Rick or with Guru Dan, where like you watch a drill and you kind of get it and you're like not sure. I now look at their feet. I don't remember who told me, look at their feet. Like if you're not getting it, you feel like you're getting the shape with your hands of whatever it's supposed to be, and you're still not getting it. Your feet are probably not where they're supposed to be. So I now really focus on that. Where are their feet, and how do I get my feet to a similar shape in space and distance to the person feeding me?
Absolutely. And I'm smiling right now. I wrote this thing down, and actually in our AIM curriculum. And at first, most of the time, as we know, it's upstairs kind of movement, right?
Yeah.
But I remember Guru Dan teaching Penantukan in St. Louis, and then me trying to do it, and it's not working out 100%.
Yeah.
And then going and asking Sifu Joel about where the feet were. Okay.
Yeah.
And what he said to me, and he was very busy, and there was a lot of people there, and it wasn't mean. But he said, yeah, or you could just move your head. Okay. Yes. Yes. I'm not right. And it was whatever. And like, okay. And I wrote that on our, like, it's in our piece now.
Yeah.
Because, right, it's just move your head. All right.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
when you first start, I'm trying to figure out what shape is going on and how this is, right? And then at a later, what I took from Sifu Joel was, kid, you're not there yet. Move your head today.
Yeah.
Move your head today.
Yeah.
And then, right, and then later on, more skill, like a better eye. All of a sudden, the feet, well, obviously, my head is going to be over my feet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But at first,
Yeah.
there's
That's really good. I like
too much stuff. So I
Yeah,
love
you're drinking from the firehouse.
Yeah, brother. And it's right there. And I mean, like, in our little progression, and I like to tell that story because so many folks, when we learn martial arts, we think of it as that learning process where we want to do it perfect. And the first 500 reps are probably not going to be perfect, guys, especially if you're with a partner. If you're making shapes, and that's good too, right? How this or
100%.
any of that, right? But the minute you have another human being in front of you, then all of a sudden, their energy, there's a bunch of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so there's that piece.
I think about it in terms of like things that I have incorporated into my Carenza or drills that I do solo, both kind of how the two things kind of flow together, or shadow boxing as well. But really, what I'm thinking about is stick Carenza stuff. I was introduced to the Archangel drills. I think Rick did a Sunday seminar or something. There was or maybe it was camp, where he pulled one of them out, and I was just like, that's what we're spinning now. Wow, I love this. And I'm talking to one of the giants of old MKG, David Kaiser, and he was like, well, they put that in Blade too. Oh, I've seen that movie. I own that movie. He's like, yeah. There's a scene. They're training the guy. Or not training, because he's like, it's also in the new, because it was in the movie Wanted, and there's a training scene where James McAvoy does amongst hung beef. I'm getting two memories mixed up, but it's been in movies. He's like, yeah. You'll see here, and then he sends me a YouTube video. It's that if you forward to this moment, they're literally doing part of the like, whoever these stunt performers are doing it with whoever the actor is. And that, I was just like, oh, now I want to play with it. And he's like, sure, we can do that. And so we started doing one that at first I thought I literally, in that way that we do sometimes, I called it the Archangel drill.
Of course.
Yeah.
Brother.
It's the same way that I've had people be like, yeah, can we do the Sembrata?
Yeah.
And you're like, so show me what that is.
Yes.
Why don't you show me what that is, and we'll get there. I'm sure it's, and it's not, I'm not saying it's wrong or right. It's just, that's maybe how they know it, and that's cool.
And that's how we have our conversation. Oh, you meant that's oh, okay. Maybe I can do it, or I can't. First time I saw the Archangels was in 1994 when I first saw Guru Dan. Okay.
Wow.
And all I knew when I left that seminar was that if you did some trapping, sometimes you could BOG, and that there was this thing called the San Miguel. That's all I knew. And everything else was like
the San Miguel.
The San Miguel, that was it. And all I knew was there was these things that I was going to get to do someday. So I completely get that part where you go from, well, it's the to, it's
this is a series of things.
You mean one of, okay.
Well, and it's that funny thing too, where when Dave and I were working on it, he described the 3 count where you spin as the spinning Oribus footwork.
Yes, sir.
And I may have that wrong, and I may need to apologize to him if he's like, no, that's not what I said, but that's how I remember it. And, in classic fashion, you look through, again, through Rick and Guru Dan's curriculum, you're going to find the word Oribus in a lot of places, and it's going to mean a bunch of different things. Absolutely. And so this goes back to what you were saying about like, well, whatever it means to you, when you say that, what does that mean? Okay, you mean that, that's fine, let's go. But I use all that to say, like, I go down the list now in the curriculum of the different ones, with the exception of the open 3, because I don't like that one.
And that's
I shouldn't care. I shouldn't share my preferences, but that one just, yeah. Anyway,
that is the mark of a seasoned martial artist or instructor, is that you don't want to share your preferences.
I try not to. I really try not to.
Really hard, but yeah, it's somebody who is still a learner and also.
I'll be honest with you, Jamie. I don't know where it is for you, but for me, it's because I've been told by my instructor that we shouldn't. That's not the thing.
Yeah. And
I'm trying to do a better job of embodying that.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, I think generationally, it's that John Cusack quote from High Fidelity, where it's like, we decided that these things matter. The movies we like, the music we like, and so it's been this weird process now in my life to like, okay, it isn't. It's okay. People can like things I don't like, and that doesn't make them bad. Which is kind of a new thing for me, but I'm working on it.
We're all working on, hopefully, some piece of that, brother. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But martial arts is so good for that. It's just one of those gifts, right? When you were talking 100%. About that, what I heard in my experience that I've had sometimes is, let's say I'm able to get together with you and I get to train for an hour and we've both traveled. I have you for an hour.
Yep.
That moment of what it's called could take 20 minutes of my hour, and neither one of us speak fluent Filipino, so that's ridiculous. I'd rather ask you what it is you mean, and then go, oh, my buddy Jake, whatever, as opposed to a younger Jamie who might go, well, Jake, actually, I think that it's called this.
Yeah.
And then after
100%.
a while, both of us leave and neither one of us got anything out of the training session.
Yeah. We spent, and I would love to say I've never done that. And we both know that's not true. I've literally, and I would say, if one of the things I would hope your listeners would take away from hearing me talk at length about any number of things. One of the things is like, be a good training partner. Oh man, you want to learn a thing. You want to refine a thing. You want to drill a thing, because drills build skills. You can't do enough of it. There's a reason why Rick is where he is in the arts, and he would tell you a significant portion of it. I believe he would tell you a significant portion was drilling. So if you need to be a partner that can be worked with, and you need to be you need to be confident enough in yourself to be flexible with that process. And then you need to just embody that flexibility with somebody. It's like you said, like, okay, what are you talking about? Show it to me. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then, like, if we have time, I can be like, that's funny that you called it that, because I've always heard it called this. But if we don't have time, that's like the least important part. I mean, if you want to walk away and teach it to your students, then it has some value.
Absolutely.
Like, okay, hey, what was that? Well, hopefully you're training with somebody who either is like, it is definitively this, it is here in your MKG manual, you will find it, Kali blah, it's here. Or they'll be like, well, I was shown this by this person and they called it this. I think that's what it's called. But you should check my source, which I do say.
Yeah.
Because I don't know more often than not, I feel.
Me too.
But
Me too. But
Yeah,
that's one thing I know after many years in the martial arts is there's a lot that I don't know.
fuck, man. Tell
Right,
you what.
and that's it's wonderful. It's also humbling, and um, it's wonderful and humbling.
Well, isn't it that thing of, Guru says, Guru Dan says, you aren't a beginner until you're, I forget the exact number of years or age, but it's
I
like,
believe it's 5. 5 years.
yeah,
You're a beginner for 5 years.
I still feel like a beginner. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that the only real change is I've gotten more conversant in the sort of physical language,
Mm-hmm.
is that I now understand the scope of things I don't understand. Like
Yeah.
I can see, I'm able to look up and go, oh, all of that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I've told people that I never have been more confident in knowing all of it than I was at about 8 months to a year. I thought, okay, I'm getting it now.
And
And
that.
then the rug got pulled out because somebody was like, hey, look up. And then you look up and you just see this broad vista of like things that are still incomprehensible to you. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, all systems firing
And
normal at that point. But for a minute, we're back to I get it. And like, okay, what is it? Well, you mean that's it? I didn't get it at all.
Collie? Yeah.
Exactly, right? And then what part of your career is the it actually it? As
Yeah.
opposed to today we're working
Well,
on.
I can remember being very like snotty about certain traditional
Me
martial
too.
arts,
Me too.
and like in my 20s, being like,
Uh,
Taekwondo.
uh,
And now I'm sort of the exact opposite reaction to it when somebody's like, yeah, I do that. You're like, great. Are you getting what you need out of it?
yeah.
Fantastic. I've never done it myself. I don't have any background in it, so I can't say anything. But it sounds like you love it.
Cool.
Fantastic. Like, do it. Karate.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Are you getting that improvement? Are you feeling physically sound? Are you moving better? Do you feel you can handle yourself in an elevated situation? Um, Hopefully you're cognizant of the fact that nothing will be perfect for every situation you'll be in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Fantastic. And that is not like some big mark of maturity on my part. It's just me being like, I don't know what they know.
Which is a maturity, Jake. Right? I
Yeah.
mean, like
Yeah. I'll give it that.
I'll tell my students that at the times when I sounded the most like I had it was the one times that I would never have wanted to be my student. And I had less of an idea of what the hell just happened. And the more that
Yeah.
I'm honest with you, that I think it's this, and right now we're
Yeah.
gonna call it this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and part of that, honestly, I got from what my takeaways from MKG.
Yeah.
When Rick, who could clearly do all of it, would say, I'm gonna be honest, we don't speak a lot of Filipino at my house, okay? Right? And that this is what I think it is, right? And this
Yeah.
is we're gonna build off this,
Yeah.
right? And to me,
Yeah.
that was the most beautiful thing. It reminded me
Yeah.
of a time when Guru Nasano stood in front of us and I felt horrible. I couldn't do any of the drills. And he stood in front of everybody and he said, well, I think I've made every mistake that there is in martial art.
Yeah.
Then I could
Yeah.
go to lunch and come back and feel good because I thought I was
Yeah.
a teacher. In the past 2 hours, I almost put my eye out 9 times with a stick, you know?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's a new
Absolutely.
thing. So,
Yeah. I mean, but isn't it a funny thing? Like that first time you go to a dance seminar and things for you visually slow down enough that you're maybe getting two of the variables and you're understanding that when he showed the variables again, he showed you three other variables that were not the first two, even though he said, I'm going to show you those again because he's just going to respond to the energy coming in. And you're like, I'm seeing it. I'm definitely not getting it all, but like, I'm finally like, it's not like in my memory, like you're like, okay, great. And then you go back to your partner and you refer to it and it's just dead air on a TV, just which 100% is all of my early seminar experiences, period. But certainly Dan was the last one. Dan and Francis Fong are the two where I'm just like, that was a longer row to hoe before I was like, okay, I saw it. I don't know if I can recreate it, but I know I saw he started on the left and he moved this way and he did that. I think that was Sapulair at the end. And you look at your partner, was that Sapulair? Yeah, it was. Okay, well, let's get to that take. We know we can get to that takedown. I didn't understand what he did. I don't know that I can recreate what he did once I was on the ground, but I know that, I know, okay, come down with the arm, break it, step over knee, blah, blah, blah. What, I mean, I don't know. Just
and right before that moment, you have an opportunity to look at your partner and you're like, I think I got a piece of it. How about you, Jake? I think I got a piece of it. All right. And then we get up and we do our bow and we start to go like this and we're like,
oh, shit. You and I have actually done exactly this at a Guru Dance seminar. I have a very early memory of us just being like,
yeah.
Well, it was off of the cross because he said it over and over again. It's off the cross. And it was definitely outside. It didn't go inside or split.
Definitely. And then, was it like...
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Yeah.
But we love this shit. We love this martial art thing so much.
100%.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll just turn around. I mean, if you're in a room like MKG, you can turn around and somebody's got it.
Yeah. I mean, that was what was sort of great. We didn't get to have Guru this year, which is a bummer. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have him again. But the last two times he's come back since COVID, there's been a group of people who have instructorship under him, who are MKG students that are like, kind of make the effort to be like, okay, well, it's going to be a big room. We're going to be at the U of M instead of the gym. And we're going to have people who've never been to a dance seminar and are coming, because, you want to make sure you get to be in front of him. Having those guys, whether it's Chad Bresky or Chris Harley is a really good one for that. There's a couple others who will walk around and just try to help Joel, who's always going to walk around a little bit and try to be a resource at those things because he's Joel. He's good like that. He's an amazing martial artist. Never is there anybody in the world that can take a crazier fall better than Joel?
No, and then smile and make a joke out of it, just in case it got awkward for a minute. He's going to come up and say something, the whole room laughs, and then you go right back. He's giving his body for the students.
Yeah, for these arts. Yeah,
sure, brother.
And there's a warmth to him. Like, what an incredible human being. I don't know him. I mean, he's nice enough to say hello to him. I don't know him particularly well or at all, but man, he radiates that same thing of like, being approachable and being a resource, and what a gift that is to us boobs wandering in. Like, I don't want to try to do them martial arts, and he's like, okay, well, we're gonna see we're gonna see where we can get you today.
Exactly, or you can just move your head, or you can just move your head.
Yeah,
like when it said, or you can just move your head, kid. You know what I mean? Which was the most wonderful. And by the way, that's probably the only reason I even. Now I move my foot and my head. Right?
So exactly, I'm literally touching my head and rubbing my belly at the same time. It's happening.
Yeah, it's happening.
It's literally, here's something Steve Martin, it's happening. Yeah, right on, man.
It's a wonderful feeling.
So what else you got for me? I know you got some more questions. Let's get into questions before I gotta get out of here.
Yeah. So what I wanted to ask, and especially what I think of this for our students is, when a beginner comes in and they're going to try martial arts, right? And if you could give them one piece of advice that they could use within 24 hours, which might look like this, it might look like that. What is something that you might say to somebody if you saw their eyes all lit up and they're like,
yeah, embrace failure.
Yeah.
It's your friend.
Yeah.
It's your friend. It's okay. You're not going to get it right away, and you are going to get something. This is not the thing I always, I feel like it's the lesson that I struggled with at the beginning, and I had people who were really great about being like, don't worry about it. It's okay to fail. The stakes walking in the door they're so low. Everybody there who's been there for any length of time just wants you to catch that bug the way they did. I can't think of a greater, just as a student who's been around, there's nothing greater than watching one of the new people who kind of walked in and they're just like snow blinded from the information coming at them, go from that to being like walking in and having a big smile on their face, whatever is happening in the outside world, everybody's knows your name and everybody's glad you came, it's that cheers thing. And then you come in and you're starting to get it and you're okay with the fact that the drill just got changed and it's harder and you're not getting it. And you're starting to relax into that. Just embrace failure. It's fine. You don't want to wallow in it, but figuring out how to do that for me helped me relax, and nothing is going to help you learn more in these arts than relaxing. It's if you're having to jam it into your own skull while your whole body is like this, you're not going to get as much.
Yeah.
Relax.
And we, what I heard was we've all been there. Right now, you might look at me and think this is smooth. I remember when I had that look on my face, and that's why I'm over here. Let's just go slow. Let's figure it out together.
I mean, even the phenoms that I've met, the people who've walked in the door and gotten it. We have I haven't seen her in a minute, but we have a young instructor you would recognize from camp, Alex, who's I think she's now 16 or 17, but she's been training with the adult classes since I think she was 14. And she got it right away. She's one of those people. She just gets it. Nikita was like that. Nikita was somebody who, like, even when she was brand new, she wasn't. She came from the Taekwondo background, I think. But even still, she was getting things that were well and truly outside of what that training would have prepared her for. I mean, the kicking and stuff, it definitely helped. But like the Kali piece, seemed like she was getting right away. And it's like, I don't know what that is. But even her, I mean, there's no way that she was like happy with what she was getting at the beginning. She was like, okay, I guess I just gotta, I don't want to put words in her mouth, but I mean, I never got the impression that she was super impressed with her own progress at the beginning. And Alex is the same thing, getting it super fast and still being like, okay, how do I get this to a point where I like what I'm doing? So it's still, it doesn't matter if you walk in and you're all thumbs and elbows and nothing comes easy, and just trying to figure out, I mean, again, we talk a lot, and I'm sure you as a beginner, a gym that really focuses on grabbing people who are beginners, coming from not an athletic background, not having sports in their history, like me. And I don't know if you had sports in your background.
Not at all, brother. So
just getting people to be like left, right, right, like that. We'll get you to the cool stuff here first, but let's get you coordinating your body left to right. So I mean, big part of that is just relaxing and being okay. You're not going to get it. So that would be my advice. It's okay. You are not like. It's like your failure is not exceptional.
Yeah. Wow. I really like that. Because we think it is. It's our own experience. We're looking around. Seems like everybody else has got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%. Especially when you're switching around and you get with somebody who's also new, but you don't know that they're new and they're frustrated in their own experience, and then you start taking it on as like frustration at you, which usually it isn't. And even if it is, who are they? They're new. They're just trying to figure it out.
And even
so it's, go ahead.
Even if it's something that all of a sudden you do get the first time because you can mimic it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are certain students, well, that's fine, but this art is about as big as it's going to get. You're going to hit a brick wall where one day you walk in and, whoa, I thought last week I really felt I was moving really towards John Wick, and today I'm more like Elmer Fudd, right? And you're like, oh, well, we hit that spot. Maybe it's a single stick. Maybe it's
I mean, I like Victor and I are working on some curriculum stuff, and one of the things we decided is we're going to do everything left-handed. Like we have the drills that are in this piece of curriculum, I don't want to say we have them down cold because we don't, but we have them. They look pretty good on the right. And drilling them, I mean, if we're going to drill stuff, I want to be drilling something where like there's a real goal. Yeah. So the thing we looked at, and we're like, well, then we need to be doing 85% of it on the left.
Good for you.
And our friend Scott Cook calls it the crying side. So he'll walk in and, oh, you guys are working on the crying side today.
Oh, the song "The Crying Game" just came in. It's the crying side.
Yeah, the sighing game. Yeah, it is both of those things.
Oh my!
It is worth noting that Team Wrong drill really started with Scott. That was a Scott, the now to me iconic T-shirt that Josh Pryor put out of it. Yeah. That's not wrong. It's just not what we're doing. That was sort of a thing that was said to Scott and me and Josh and a couple other people by Rick, because, you know, we had gotten to a place where we were mimicking pretty well and doing the thing, but we were not getting the drill. Or in a couple of the cases, the person we were with wasn't, and we were just too Midwestern to correct them because they were in a similar place time in wise. Right. But yeah, the crying side has been that's been a pretty fun thing. So, but one of the things that I'll say is that, like, it's a good reminder that even things like we're literally like, we were like, okay, Kali 4 has Palisut and Panastas dagger drills in it, and I go, well, I got that. I mean, I could always do more, but I've spent a fair bit of time repping that. And then I'm like, oh, wow, okay. Well, first of all, Panastas, I've been doing gunting and not check and hit. So I've literally been doing the wrong drill. So that was part one. I would go back to the nomenclature thing of just the naming not being correct. But then
I did this exact same thing.
Yeah, 100%. So we're doing it. We're getting into it. We're repping it out, and then we're like, okay, we should probably put this in the left hand. And then I realized, if I've done any reps of Palisut in my left hand, it's not showing in what I'm doing. I was initially not able to do the drill, like put it back in the right hand and go through, and then, okay, translate it back to the left. And okay, now we made it to this point. Okay, now we kind of have the shape of it. We start going, and okay, let's switch. Now you'll be in the ice pick. I'll be in the straight grip. And then I'm like, wait, no, you got to go back to the right again with me in the straight grip so I can see what that is, because I've apparently never done this in the left hand, like not even the little bit that I've done other things. And so now we're, I think, 3 sessions into, we'll do the first minute in the right hand just to get in that rhythm of doing all 3 feeds, 1, 3, 5, Palisut, Panastas. And then, like, even though it's not in the curriculum, let's just add in the gunting because that's just good fun. Okay, we've done a minute of that. All of the rest of this repping, this drilling, the 10 minutes of it that we're going to do is all going to be on the left side. And boy, is that a great way to all this conversation I think we've had. There's been a lot of talk about kind of letting go of ego. Yeah. I mean, that used to be, there was literally the big sign walking into the original. I mean, that I remember that walking into the Ford Center, and that was the first thing I noticed was the giant sign of an ego with the red, the word ego with a red circle and the line through it. And I was like, oh, that's kind of an interesting thing to see immediately inside of a martial arts gym.
Yeah.
But yeah, letting go of that. And then you're just like, okay. And now we've done it enough that it's like, it's starting to feel, maybe not look great, but it's starting to feel okay.
More natural.
Yeah.
It's more natural. Right? And yes. More. We're all going to tell you better, more. Right? Whatever.
Yeah. I like that. I like more natural is exactly it. It starts feeling less like it's the bit from 30 Rock where they're going to film Alec Baldwin's character doing something, and he's literally standing there with his hands going, what do I do with my hands? And then he ends up walking with 2 coffee cups, and you're like, what do I do with these? What do I do with them? And everything feels really unnatural. And that's exactly it. Like getting to a place where you're like, okay, this still needs a lot of work, but now it doesn't feel like it's hateful, hateful work. It's starting to feel like it feels like just drilling a thing. It doesn't feel like drilling something that makes you hate life.
Yeah. Well, and that's always good. We shoot for that. You know what I mean? But at the
100%.
same time, when you're really good on, or you feel that you're getting it on one side without doing the other, there could be a
you don't have it.
You don't have it, but there's a vast reality wake up period where you start. Right, and what I heard was you guys are doing this, but you spend a minute doing it on one side so you can teach yourself the other side or remember the conversation. It's like what we were talking about. Oh, okay. Now we're gonna try it on this side.
And I'll tell you what, immediately now when we're in the Kali class together, or the Pentateuchin class together, or even like the JKD Gen Fan class, we automatically, he and I, if we're doing it, will automatically switch it to our left. Whatever the drill is, okay, we need to be in the other weight now. Which is, as a thought, something I would have resisted unconsciously and then probably also consciously. So it's having a really profound effect on me of like, get used to the crying side.
Yeah.
So that would be my advice for the more advanced student. Get used to the crying side. Whatever that side is for you, probably your left, but, just get used to it. It's okay. It's okay. You're going to be okay.
Yeah, you're definitely going to be okay. And I just really want to entitle this this episode, Get Used to the Crying Side.
Get used to the crying. I 100% endorse that.
All right, brother. Thank you for coming on the show.
100%.
Do you have anybody?
What a joy.
Yeah, it was great. Do you have anybody you'd recommend for the show? I don't want to put you in an awkward situation, but if you do...
Yeah, I got a couple thoughts. The one that I really recommend, because she's an interesting person to talk to. I don't know her super well. Her name is Robin Ruggles. Okay. Robin Ruggles. She is a martial artist and a physical therapist who works out of Burnsville Martial Arts Gym. She specializes she's an independent physical therapist, so she doesn't work through insurance. And she specializes in working with combat athletes, specifically, obviously, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, and MMA folk, and helping them with their training regimens, their health regimens. And she is such a resource. She has a thing called Move Forward. Move Forward is the name of her company.
Okay.
Mary and I both go and see her and are huge believers in her. A lot of other folk in town are really starting to reach out to her. Her take on the arts, her take on her journey. I literally was thinking about this when I saw when you put that in the email to me. I had just gone and seen her I'm dealing with some heel pain, some plantar pain of just bouncing around on my feet, weighing 280 something. And she's just somebody who can, show me how you move, show me what you're doing, and then be like, okay, how about this? And then having a good intuitive feel, but also having a really wonderful science-based thing. And then on top of that, being a martial artist, somebody who's done a lot of martial arts. I can't say enough about her. Positive. She helped Gus and Nikita manage the Burnsville Academy's fight team. We helped make sure they were all ready to go. And I think they had 17 fighters go down there and 31 fights total, came back with 3 belts. I mean, live vicariously through my friend's success. You're just like, wow, that is so cool. And they look good. Mary got the live stream for it, so we watched a bunch of their fights, and they looked prepared. Even the ones that the decision didn't go their way, they all looked ready to go. And Robin is a part of the team that helps on the health end of that. And so I think her perspective would be, if FormABLE is a part of it, I think her perspective would be awesome.
I appreciate that, and I have, and she's with Burnsville. You said, sir?
Yeah,
right? With Nikita.
Yeah, the Burnsville Martial Arts Academy. I'll send you the info for her, sure.
Okay. Well, it's so funny because I just reached out to Gus to come onto the show.
Good.
Yeah.
So. He'll probably have something, I would assume, nice to say about her. Mm-hmm. It's funny. I just talked to Gus yesterday, and it's just like, this like thing of like, again, with both him and Nikita, like my first interaction with Gus was at a Chai seminar years ago. Ray White, I think one of his first instructors, I don't know if it is his first, but it was certainly the person who prepared him to get in the ring initially, is a Kali group instructor now in Michigan, who is a great character of a guy. And so you're just like, again, it's this giant family that we're a part of, and you think about it like, it's how cool is that? You know,
It is.
Like it's wonderful.
It's part of that piece in my mind when you talked a little bit when you walk in an MKG and you walk into Inasano Academy. It's different, but it's the same, right?
Yeah.
And the feeling and the vibes might be a little bit different, but after a while you can catch on, right?
Yeah.
And kind of
man.
do the
I've been
Vulcan
to a
mind
bunch of
meld.
those. A little bit. Like we spent a bunch of time. We well, a bunch of time. We spent a couple weeks in the UK and Ireland. This spring, we went to the Westwood Academy, which is Rick's UK camp, which was wonderful. And the new location at Lilleshall Hall, which is like an old. I mean, it's beautiful. It's the UK Olympic teams do training there. It's great facility. And then after we got done with that, we got to go down to MKG Southampton, Tottenham Martial Arts, where Aaron Davis, that's his school. We stayed with him and got to go to his school and do some martial arts, and then went over to Dublin and got to spend a little time with James Devine and Courtney at James's school, MKG North Dublin. And you get to see how it's done in these very different places, and how they how they approach it is different, but it's also the same.
Yeah, brother.
It's fantastic.
And it all has to do with maybe if we're willing to fit into that puzzle sometimes, whatever that is. Like, and if we're willing to do that, we'll learn. Like, that's where you start. You start with teaching that, right? And that's the wonderful thing about our art. Right? And all the people who come in sometimes and like, they might come in one day and see you guys doing Sombrado left-handed and think, they're left-handed, this is great. So they think that's exactly how it's going to go. But they get to do it with you one time. And then you come back the next day and like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, but, well, no, that was last week when we were working on Y. Now we're back to A. It'll cycle around and you'll get it. Be okay with that. Right? Yeah. I like to tell our students.
And it's the beauty of it is like you can sit there and you can look at again, Burnsville Martial Arts Academy is a great example of like, and here the lion's share of our time we're worried about getting you ready to do combat sports. Like we have a program, we have a lot of ways to do, we got a lot of experience, we've got a great team, let's do that. And then you take that compared to like Mike O'Melia's group, his SIAC group, where it's like we're gonna do our best to make you functional in this arena.
Yes. And
the idea is you're going to be thinking about the art. You're not worried about that well lit padded room where you're going to have a match and people care about a tap. We're going to prepare you for a different reality, and all of that lives under the same umbrella, and that's the coolest thing to me,
brother.
And by the way, it's all valid.
Very well said. And something else that Rick says that makes a lot of sense to me is that everybody's experience in martial art is equally valid, and that allows us, in my opinion, to have a conversation like today and learn from one another, right?
Heck yeah.
And that's one of the things that's given me, and I think that's one of the things that's given you. My man.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Jamie.
It's been my pleasure.
We'll see you at camp, man.
Yeah. I will. I'm working on something, so I'll be there at least one day. I'll talk to you a little bit about it or whatever.
Yeah.
And,
I would love to hear about it, man.
Yeah. But I really have always thought very highly of you when I got to do things with you, and we got along really well. And I just want to say I appreciate you coming on the show.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to have you back at some point. All right, brother?
100%. 100%.
All right.
All right, man.
Okay, guys, this is Jamie Sparling, the head instructor, Affinity Martial Arts and Wellness, FormABLE Podcast, Jacob Nordin from MKG Headquarters. And it's headquarters because there are numerous schools throughout the world, right? More MKG Jeet Kune Do schools than any other organization in the world, I believe.
I don't know that, but there sure are a lot of them.
There sure are, but anyway, that's on me if that's a mistake, but I don't believe that it is. Okay? Anyway, thank you for coming in and sharing some of that experience and sharing so much of yourself. We're going to bring you back. I had a lot of fun, and we want to be, Affinity wants to be on your tour when you go through, and there's a room right back here.
100%.
Me and my wife have a room for you and your wife. Come through whenever you're ready, brother.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right. We are out. Leave us a comment. I should have said at the very beginning, like and subscribe, but I never do that. And I hate to say smash anything because, I don't know, we do martial arts. And sometimes
smash means something different to us.
It means something different. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyway, welcome and thank you. Not welcome. This is the end. All right. This is the end. Thank you for watching the FormABLE Podcast with me and my good friend, Jake Nordin.